All right, guys, back here with another installment. Um, Today I want to discuss the daily efforts needed to be a good person, right? Now, you might say, Prince, if you're a good person, it shouldn't take daily efforts. But it really does, because most of our interaction in this world nowadays is perceived as more negative than ever. Because of having these socials and these devices, it gives us a sense of entitlement when we go out there and interact with the world and think that everything should be about us, you know? What do the kids call it? The main character syndrome. That's what it is. But if you're really a good person, you are self-aware on how hard it is to be one. Because, quote unquote, you gotta let so much slide, so much get away with. And everybody got that flame in them that wants to act on their revenge fantasies. But we hold it together and we tell ourselves, hopefully karma can get them, or in order to be at peace, you just let it fly. And this is the same thing here with your fitness journey, guys. This thing here requires ultimate self-awareness to understand and accept where you currently are, and to understand and accept for where you want to be, you have to do this, and that. And even when you get there, now the hardest part is maintaining or even making more progress. That is why there is this constant urge to analyze myself after every week, because the last thing I want is to be stagnant, man. It's such a terrible, dull feeling. I don't ever want to feel it. So every week, I take the opportunities needed to improve my lifts, improve my numbers, so I can go on forward and really optimize my physique and be the best version of myself. Part of that is by doing the right requirements prior to squatting. Squatting is a lift that I care for a lot, and I want to perform it the correct way. So usually I make sure my hamstrings is warm. I make sure my ankles have that proper dorsiflexion, that they're not too tight. I do couple goblet squat as seen before, and then I get into my squat. Personally, it has helped me. Priming me into my squat has helped me improve into my squat, lift it better, and alter it for what I want it for. I'm squatting for quad growth, not for glute growth or for maximum weight, but for quad growth. And part of that is to understand how your knees traveling past your toes is one of the main factors in squatting when growing your quad. So this is what I'm implementing. And part of it is warming up your hamstring correctly, having that dorsiflexion intact, and yada yada. So be self-aware, guys. Know where you are and what it takes to be where you want to go. If you plan this whole thing out like you've planned your career, like you've planned a trip, like you've planned your next 5 years for your long-term and short-term goals, you should also be able to train the direction for your training and have a clear visual of where you want to be and what it takes to get there. One thing I wanted to address here is My pecs have definitely been the list of my priorities, and I'm bringing it back in just because it's such a fun muscle to train, especially us guys, man. Chest days is our best day, but I still train it after back. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, this idea of training back and chest might not be applicable for everyone, but for me, it's the best thing I could have ever done for my shoulders, for my rotator cuffs, just for overall better pump and the stretch. Now, and this is my main point for everything I discussed today. There are some practices or some processes that will only work for you, nobody else. It will make no sense if you give that same practice or process or warm up to your brother or your gym partner. It won't make sense to them, but it will for sure make sense to you. And that's why I want to encourage finding what works for you, solutions that are catered to you. There is no one else like you. There is all the unique factors and story and circumstances that led you to be here and to be where you are is what makes you you. So why would you try something that worked for someone else? Try what works for you first and then work from there. See you next time.